Hi there again. So this is my Lawn Master lawnmower. It's got a 163cc Briggs Stratton engine on it, and I've had it, this is the third, coming into the third summer I've had it. And it's got this little sticker here that says no oil changes, just check and add. And it's time for a bit of a service. I want to sharpen the blades, but I'm a bit suspicious about this no oil change required, and so I did a bit of research on YouTube, and it kind of sounds like it's more a result of people not changing the oil on their lawnmowers anyway, rather than you know, a recommendation that you don't change the oil. So if we get the dipstick out, we can see that the oil there is pretty black, and so I'm going to change it and put some fresh stuff in. So because it's got no oil change required, there's no kind of sump outlet on these like you do on some of the old lawnmowers. So the way to tip the oil out is just to take that lid off the dipstick and tip the lawnmower on its side. I've just got it propped up there on a bit of wood so I don't have to hold the weight. And that oil is going to fill up that ice cream container. So I've just got some of this 4-stroke engine oil that I purchased when I bought the mower, and I'm just going to chuck, I've used about half of it last time, so I'm just going to chuck that in, test the dipstick, and see if we've got enough. When you do tip your mower over on the side like I just did, it actually is better if you don't have any petrol, because there is a risk of petrol leaking into the carburetor, which isn't good. I do actually have some petrol in mine, so that was my bad practice. Do as I say, not as I do. But I guess we'll see if the mower starts. Alright, so I've got some nice red looking oil on there now. It looks like we've got enough in there. So now the proof will be in the pudding. If I start the mower, or pull on the starter and see if it goes. Hey, first full, that's great. Now the next thing I want to do is check the air filter. So that's on this other side here. Right here we've just got this little container here that pops off, plastic, and you've got like a car style air filter in there. It's full of crap. You can see it's full of grass and dirt and dust. It's probably not doing the machine much good running with that in there. I'm tempted just to buy a new one of these, so that we've got a nice fresh clean air filter. I don't have one of those on me, but we can go ahead and do that. So we've got a new air filter now. With shipping it cost about $12, overnight courier. We'll chuck that in now. So I'll just flip the little lid off there, get rid of the old manky one, chuck the new one in, and click it back into place. All right, so that should run sweeter now. And the next thing I want to do is, there's 4 blades, little blades here that cut the grass. I'm going to take those off and give them a good sharpen and then put them back on, and then we should all be sweet. The mower's serviced, ready for another season. So rather than tip the mower up on its side and risk any petrol leaking into the carburetor again, what I thought I'd do is try this little setup here in the garage. Got the mower up on a shelf. There's it's a slatted shelf, so there's gaps in between the slats, and in there I've got a pair of vice grips on the bottom of the nut. I've got my socket wrench on the top of the nut to undo it, and then because when you undo it the whole rotor of the blade spins, you need something to stop that spinning so you can get enough leverage on the wrench to undo it. So I've put a little clamp on there that just sticks up. Right, so you can see the setup there with the pair of vice grips hanging down from the bottom of the nut. We've got the clamp there. Move on up. There I've got my socket wrench on the nut, and around here you can see that clamp, and as the blade spins around, it's hard up against that clamp there now, allowing me to undo the nut. If I just do that now, and it's a little bit of a, time-consuming process, but that nut for that blade is now coming loose, so it's just a matter of doing that and working that free on all 4 blades, and we'll be sussed. All right, so we've got the blade here on my workbench, and even though I made my workbench bigger last summer, it follows the law of workbenches the world over, in that it doesn't matter how big it is, the amount of crap on it will always expand to fit the available space, a bit like goldfish and goldfish bowls in that way. But anyway, we're going to chuck this blade here in the vise and give it a sharpen, because it is blunt as, I'm amazed it actually cuts grass at all at the moment. Right, so I've got that tightened in the vise like that. I'm just going to take a file and run the blade at a angle, I don't know what sort of angle, 45ish maybe, along there, and then I'll flip it over and do the other side. You can see here that the bolt that the blade is welded to is shaped. There's one bit there that's been sliced off it. There's the washer that goes on the rotor deck. You can see that the hole has been sliced off, so the bolt goes up through that, and then that way you don't have to worry about the angle of the blade. It automatically fits into place where it's supposed to go for the best cutting of the grass. So we're just going to keep running this file along here until this point of the blade or edge of the blade is gleaming with freshly exposed metal and sharp. It's a bit of a time-consuming process. I'll be here for, it might take me an hour to do all 4 of them, but it's a heck of a lot cheaper than taking it to the repair shop to get them to do it, and it's quite satisfying work. So that edge there is not looking too bad. So now I'll flip it over this side here, do the same on there. Now I think that is, if you feel the edge, much sharper than it was, and it's not looking too bad. So that first blade is done. I've got it back, the bolt's going through the rotor deck. I'll just chuck my washer on there now. And then we've got the nut. I'll just give it a bit of a squirt of CRC and put that nut back on. And then once that's done, move on to the next one, and then the next one, and the next one, and we're all sorted. So I'm not going to film all of that because that would make a pretty boring video. So we'll see you back here when this is all done, and we'll mow some lawns. Okay, I've changed out of my Sunday best into something more appropriate for lawn mowing. Mower service, got fresh soil, blades have been sharpened, got a new air filter, so we'll pull the starter cord, see how it goes, and mow some lawns. If you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button and or subscribe, and we'll see you here next time on Master of None NZ. Helps if I put the choke on. There we go, all right. I just remembered something that I'd forgot to do, so it wouldn't be a proper lawnmower service without checking the spark plug, so we'll do that now. It's just at the front here. Get the old plug spanner in there. Okay, so the spark plug is a bit coked up. No, not that kind of coked up. What I mean is it's got a bit of carbon deposits around on the end here where the spark goes. It's not too bad, but I'll just give it a quick little sand. And then in between, just to clean a bit of that carbon off. And then that'll do. I mean, I could replace the spark plug, but it seems to be running all right with this one here. So maybe I'll do that next time I service the mower, but not this time. So we'll put that back in, do it up. Put the cap back on and get back to mowing that lawn.